Washington, D.C., I think between Herb Scott and myself, and you'll hear Herb in one of the next groups, he founded and is the executive director of the Capitol Hill Jazz Foundation, and I chair the board of directors. And we looked at sustainability from two sectors, looking at what you currently had going on, but also understanding and looking in the future. What do we need to do now to make sure that we'd be able to do anything a year from now, 6 months from now? Immediately, Herb and I, in talking, Herb realized that, you know what, people are going to need relief, and this is going to last for a while. Our organization was the first organization in Washington, D.C. to offer micro grants out to about 80 musicians. We started doing fundraising immediately so that we could keep going with some of the things like the Jazz Jam that we had as well here that Herb started. They moved that, of course, online, and then we were able to convince and give some restaurants a model of what they could do to keep in touch with their customer bases through music, and to do it safely. Washington had a very strict hold on not meeting up and doing in-person events whatsoever. So during that time, what we did, we coalesced all of the jazz community, and we called them at first jazz stakeholders, what evolved to be DMV music stakeholders, nonprofits, for-profit organizations, venues, festival owners, and then musicians. We came together, and we come together still today twice weekly to share information, to share resources, to learn from each other, to help point each other in the direction in which we should go as far as advocacy for the relief that we needed to sustain anything. And I think everybody here understands, to sustain anything, we knew that musicians need to be able to have a way to eat, have housing security, not insecurity, have some money in their pockets, and venues needed a way to stay open. We began to craft legislation immediately so that we could figure out how we could accomplish those two things. And the next big lift we're going to address this coming Thursday is going to be the lift of seeing if we can have a minimum basic income for musicians in this city. And I think that we all should adopt that in our own advocacy, because starving artists is a misnomer. That is a misnomer. That's fake. It's a shirking of responsibilities from our district and our municipal governments. Many of us know, who are advocates here, that we wanted to sustain so much, but when you do not have a priority of music in schools, where you have teachers who don't have instruments or access to this, that, and the third, well, how can we expect them to prioritize it when it comes to unemployment or to business or infrastructure and things of that nature? Herb and I have worked extremely hard to ensure that the legislation is in place and that we've seen models where these things can actually work. And so, and lastly, I said the last thing we've been trying to sustain is the Congressional Jazz Caucus, that I hope all of you will write your Congress people and ask them to join the Congressional Jazz Caucus. Currently, we're looking for a Republican co-leader because our Republicans left Congress, and with Congress being close to the public, we can't do in-person lobbying to go and ask and advocate for members to join the caucus. And but Sheila Jackson Lee did reintroduce the legislation that Herb will be speaking about a little bit later, so that a version of HR 57 with teeth on it can actually possibly get past this upcoming Congress. So getting together, and I encourage all of you to try to do this, getting together the DMV music stakeholders. We took, executive directors and club owners and musicians from all over the district, Maryland, and Virginia. And we began to see what they were doing. What we noticed is that people were searching for solutions in silos, individually, trying to figure this thing out as if they were the only ones dealing with these problems. It gives a great boost of confidence to know that you're not stupid. You're not the only one who can't figure these forms out, or you're not the only one who's behind on rent. You're not the only one who is not sure if they can get their instrument repaired. You're not the only one who is trying to figure out how to stream appropriately. Your age is not a barrier, so you don't have to be left out because of ageism. So coming together like this made these lifts so much easier and reachable and doable. And it helped to know what other people were doing, because when we got certain bits of information, we could pass them on to people we knew who would value this. Likewise, we were inundated with information that helped us add value to our organization. Herb has been able to maintain a lot of our programs that we've been doing throughout the year, only because we've been sharing information, sharing the load, sharing the lift, and understanding that we are in this together. This is how jazz has survived. us working hand in hand. Jazz was the first genre of music to reach out and say, we will only play in front of integrated audiences, or we'll have an integrated bandstand. Or women were early on in jazz with the people who were providing a lot of the music that we enjoy today. Jazz can still do this. We can still come out of this thing stronger. But I think right now sustainability means that we are working together, and that's what we tried to do.